Cool. All right. The next day, we're doing this again. So, looks to me, I figured this out already. So, looks like all the coils are here. To coil BE or ignition module, confirm internal wiring. So yeah, I gotta figure that part out. So at least now I know which one it goes to. It goes to 37. So I don't know how that's gonna get controlled, because unless when the cast goes, cast is probably what pushes the power, right? I'm pretty sure that's where the trigger comes from. This is the main issue I had before. Let's spark output. So something comes input, so tech N, that's probably the 24. So I gotta figure 1, 2. Yep. I need to figure that out. So okay. We're working on that. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. This and this. So thermal position sensor. I could probably wire that up pretty quick. Sensor grounds at megasquirt 1 and 2. 7 through 19 are all ground. That's what I thought. 1 and 2 on here is ground. Right there, that's it. Sensor grounds at megasquirt pins 1, 2, 7, and 19 all ground. So the precise pin does not matter. Cool. So yeah, 1 and 2 are ground. We'll ground those out later. It's easy. And so PWD idle. That's idle valve. We're not using that, so because I don't have a PWD idle. Here, that's what I'm doing. Probably gonna be long. So we got that. We'll get the coil packs. So the ground probably goes to the output, and the cast is what gives the input. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So thermal position sensor. That's all I have really hooked up. We were doing math, but now we're doing map, the internal map. So that gets basically into the intake somewhere. And wherever I put the freaking sensor, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna tap into that. That part might be as simple as just putting it in maybe somewhere up here or something, and just tap it and put it in. Oh, here it is. This thing right here. I might just get a new one because I don't know how this got melted. But yeah. IAT valve. The map comes from the ECU. So that's all I'm going to be having hooked up. This is going to be, that's the map. Here's the cast. Basically, I think it's going to be rounded, so I might have to do like a little conversion on that. But then we got the O2 and wideband. I'm going to try to hook them both up. So that's 2 more sensors. Got the injectors. So all we care about is throttle and IAT sensor. That's it. That's all we need. And we just do casts and injectors and spark. That is all we need. So, because I'm not using anything idle-wise. Idle is actually being controlled by this. Everything else is basically disabled. I have basically created my own little turn off valve there. I mean a gasket thing there, and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that is what I'm working on. So yeah, this is what I'm trying to set up. So yeah, cool. That's it. That's all the sensors. Throttle position sensor, IAT valve, or IAT sensor, and the internal map. Internal map is right here. So I gotta make sure I get, I'm gonna have to route some more extra stuff to that. So there's that. That's the ECU. It's pre-wired and ready. And so we're not using math. Math can just go fuck off. So technically, all we need throttle position sensor. So I'll have to wire in. The blue is the sensor, or that, and I believe the gray is the power. So let's see, throttle position sensor. Data is actually wrong. So where's TPS on this throttle switch? Okay. So it's supposed to be blue and pink and blue, pink and black. I'm sorry. So let's wire this up right. So 8 minutes already in. So yeah, just like it said, pink and black and blue. Matter of fact, it doesn't even need a ground. It's already pre-grounded. But there's a second one right here. Ooh. That's right. Yeah, this one has 2. Okay, so that's the one with 3. That is probably what I'm going to need. So that's blue, black, and pink and black. So that's them 2. So this has 4 wires. But that's throttle switch. So the other one is cam position, crank position sensor, reference signal. That's not it. Throttle position sensor. There's TPS right here. Okay, so that's white for W, which is the center right there. Okay. Throttle position sensor. So the actual sensor's in the center there. So throttle switch. So that probably need the 2. Shoot, I don't know which one it would be. Let's see. So to figure that out, I got 4 wires. This is what's gonna get fun, because now I'm not gonna be able to wire that up until I can test it. Oh, shoot. Throttle position sensor. It's right here. And I'm not sure. One has to control open and close, and one has to tell what it does. So I always thought it was the throttle switch, but it's not. Throttle position sensor. So black, white, black, or blue. No, black and white, black. So This is green and red and black. Okay. So what's green and red? Let's see. Tachometer. Let's see. Green and red. Green, black? No. So if we're going to go through green, orange, maybe that's what it was meant to be. A neutral position switch. No, because it's underneath. And it's green and red. So whatever that is, it's not on this list. So it probably just gets power. And that's all it's meant for. So if it's not on the list, we don't care. So I need to figure out if that one is this, and if those two go to the other. But I don't think so. I think one is supposed to be ground. So this may need to be, this one of these is probably not gonna care, but I'm not sure. So I need to figure that out. So there's the question. Which one for throttle position sensor? I'm gonna go ahead and mark this. But we know the colors. ECCS relay. That's probably number 16 is probably we want to hook up on the main relay. So that's probably gonna also get probably hooked up somewhere. Intake. Oh, here's the other one right here. Green red is the intake, variable intake butterfly. Okay, so this is what tells it to open and close. This is what I need. So we don't care about throttle switch. We only care about this. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, so, yeah. So that means this one should be, that's that pink and green and red. So that should be green and red. Green, red. And this one should be the white. Okay. So in that case, that's 38. This goes 38. This one goes to 8. Cool. Perfect. That's awesome. Okay, now we know how that's set up. Go. Okay, so we know where that goes. The hardest one is going to be the crank angle sensor when that gets in. And that we know these are grounds, so grounds. We already have. Let's go back to. Those are injectors. So, yep, this has already been powered to number 3. So, 3 is the switch and all that. So, cool. But, yeah, it's like a 3 amp switch. So, tech, I gotta figure out this stuff here. So, wideband, and it says OR. So, I mean, if we go wideband, we don't have to worry about narrowband connected, but we still probably have it connected anyways. And have wideband still hooked up as a sensor. Cool. Ignition switch. Regardless, this is a the ignition switch set up. So regardless, it all gets into there. Let's see. Black and white is ECU power, which is also 109. But we only need power one time on this. So that's kind of cool. Idle air control valve. We don't need it. We're not using it. We do have extra wire for no reason on this side, but this is what we care about. So I need to know what are bank 1 and 2. So, I mean, this makes sense. So like injector 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. But if we go here, it just says the random stuff. Something I didn't do. Pin 70. What's pin 70 on this? Pin 70 does not exist. So technically I would that wouldn't matter at all. But on that I see 30. Alright, so this is just gonna be one long video today that I'll just upload. So yeah, we'll figure this out. So this might actually be injector 1 and 3 from bank 1, but I think that should be more, these should be bank 1 and these should be bank 2. Maybe? I don't know. So we figured this out. I can wire this up tonight. I need to know how I'm going to do the casts and the spark plugs. Actually, I think I know the spark. And that would be, because the plugs itself has to be powered. So if we're going to do powered, that's probably what this is. Internal wiring. So we're not doing module because module's been deleted. We're using 2 coil, so this is what we're doing. So I know on the MS3 there's like one for each one, but we're not doing that. This time we're just sticking to this. And gotta figure that one out. So CAS and coil. That's my question for that one. I still have to do the bank and research on that. But that's it. Other than I need to figure out where I'm putting the IAT valve, which on here says pin 30, which is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30? Why is it? Oh, that replaces the... Oh, that replaces... That's an IAT valve. Yes, IAT. That makes more sense. Okay, so I just have to wire the one wire in and ground off the other. Okay, now we know. Okay, that's an easy wire. I just gotta go pull the actual wire from over there and we'll wire that in. Cool. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's all I need. I need to figure out these and these, and we just figured these out. I'm going to wire them tonight. I don't need to wire that. I'll just have to run an actual wire to it. I might have to order more that wire itself, this wire, because I don't think I have enough to actually wire it from inside the car, but that's fine. I'm not worried about the fuse box because technically everything already is pre-fused. Power itself is already into the ECCS relay. Yeah, pretty much what I have wired up. So we just got to figure out, well, we know it's oxygen heat sensors here. So that goes over here. We don't need to worry about that yet, but we know it's on 116. Well, 115. 116 is also engine ground. So that's coming from the engine. That's pretty much what I wired here. And engine grounds, I should use all these engine grounds because they're already pre-grounded. So ECU ground, I need to make sure that's set. And that ECU power. See, I should have used this instead. Or no, I think I did. I did do that ECU power and ground. I do see another power here, but we don't need it here because it's the ECU. Okay. Let's see. So these are supposed to be the crank positive and reference signals. So let's confirm this. Black and white black. So let's confirm. Black. Oh, yeah, right in the center. Yeah, there's 3 of them. There's 4. Actually, white black is definitely in the center wire. The big black is there, and then you got the 2 other signals. One's red and another's black. Cool. So, white black, that's definitely that. This is probably the big one then. 41. Engine ground. So 41, 42 are the big ones. This is what I think this is right here. Power supply to hall sensor. That's pretty much part of the cast. I don't know where the last part is. Malfunction indication lamp. Don't care. Vehicle sensor. Nope, don't care. Thermistor. Amplifier. Don't care. Start signal. I don't know where to put the start signal over here. So, switch fused. Okay. So, those are the 2. So, yeah, okay. 2 things we got to work on.